We are live. Let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome back to another live and amplified Indie Fusion podcast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we're back at it again with another amazing podcast. Have no fear, I did not freeze. It got down to 20 degrees here in Central Texas. I know, it's a big deal. Not really. It's not that big of a deal. But we are here. We are back. We have a very special guest joining us. We have Mary Eliza. How's it going today?
Going well. Thanks for having me.
Excited to have you here.
Yeah.
So first off, I want to congratulate you on the release of your album. That was Friday, or was it Thursday? My mind is blanking now.
That would have been Friday.
Friday. I was thinking, I was like, when was the 17th? I don't even remember at this point.
I don't remember anymore either.
Right. So first, congratulations on the release of your album. How's everything been going with that?
Thanks. Yeah, really good. It's felt like a whirlwind. I kind of realized that I was just counting down the days, trying to get everything set for the music to be out. And now it's out and I'm remembering what life is like without that happening. And yeah, it's been great.
For sure. That's awesome. What I've loved about you and your music is that you're not afraid to release albums, like just going through your Spotify and all that. It's like, yes, I love the fact that musicians are still out there that want to put out full bodies of work, regardless of what the industry says right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's just fun.
Yeah. Is that how you've always kind of been, was always more full project oriented, or is this just kind of something that's a little bit more recent?
Yeah, I think I've always been a fan of making records. All my prior stuff on streaming services were just these fun little DIY projects that I threw together, and I thought, why the heck not put them out there? And yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So your current album out is called Spider. What's the story behind it?
Yeah. Behind the collection of songs, I guess.
Like, was it let me ask you a little bit more of a direct question.
Yeah.
How long has this project been in the works?
Since last winter, so about a year. Yeah. I wrote 8 of the songs last winter. And then 2 of them were older ones that kind of fit the theme and the feeling of the records. They made it on as well. Yeah, not long, about a year.
Nice. And is that kind of, when you first started working on this, was it always the intent of it being a full album, or was it just kind of like, were you just kind of writing music and then things just kind of started coming together?
I would say both.
Okay.
I had these dreams of what the record now is. It actually turned into exactly what I hoped for, which is an awesome feeling. But yeah, it was kind of both. I had these dreams of this record and I was writing songs that were kind of in line with that. But you also never know what's going to happen when you're just creating art. So yeah.
Nice. Very true. Very true. Very true. And so you said you wrote 8 of the songs and then 2 of them were songs that you had previously written?
Yeah.
When everything started coming together, what was kind of the connection that you felt to the songs? That was like, was there like a theme or something that was like, okay, all these songs kind of work together, or what was that theme?
Yeah. I'd say 2 big things were happiness and grief. Those are the things that kind of tied together songs, and especially the 2 that I had written previously. And a friend of mine actually pointed out, like, hey, that song feels a lot like this project. Like, what are your thoughts on that? And it just hit home, and I had to put it on the record. It just felt right.
Nice. For sure, for sure. And so now that the album's out, like what's kind of running through your mind? Obviously, you're still in full promo mode because you put out a full project. You want to promote it as much as you can, but what's kind of running through your mind right now?
I don't even know. It's such a day by day thing. I'm just grateful that it's out and that people are enjoying it. And I'm getting some great feedback from folks, having fun playing shows. I'm a pretty in the moment person. I don't have any massive plans. I'm honestly just grateful that I am able to make music and that I was able to make this record. And it's just so much fun. I have so much love and respect for music.
Nice, nice, nice. And so for this album, Spider, the first single was Dogs, correct? That was the kind of what was it about that song that was kind of like, okay, this is the first representation of this project that I want to put out there?
Yeah. I don't know if there was a ton of thought that went into that, but
Okay.
I love that song. And when the masters came back, it just felt like I really wanted to put that one out.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's enough of a reason to be honest with you. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
like if you were tugged that hard to be like, okay, this song is the one we're putting out, there was a reason behind it, you know?
Definitely. Yeah, kind of similar to wanting it to be the first track, just that feeling of it pulls you in pretty well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So the album's out now. If anybody wants to listen to it, it's up on Spotify.
Mhm.
After the podcast, it'll be in the description. The link to the album will be in the description below. Go check it out. All that fun stuff. So the album's out. Um, you're originally from Oakland, correct?
Correct.
How long did you live there? Because now you're up in Portland or
Yeah.
Oregon. Okay.
Portland, Oregon. Hmm.
Now, I was, for some reason in my brain, I was like, no, Portland's not in Oregon. And I was like, no, it's Portland, Oregon. You're stupid. What are you doing? Yeah. So, uh,
There's a couple Portlands. You
right,
got it.
right. So how long, or how long ago did you move up to Portland?
Yeah, Portland just a year ago, but I've been in Oregon for about 6 years.
Did you go to school? Did you move up there for school or?
I went to school in Southern California.
Okay.
I lived in Oakland through high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. And where does music kind of come into play there? Is that something that you were doing in Oakland and then it just kind of followed you, or did you find it in college?
Yeah, I grew up in a family band actually.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was right from the get-go. My first instrument was fiddle, and I started playing that at 5 or 6 years old.
Nice.
Yeah, and we would perform songs. We made a little CD as a family, and I loved it. I loved the whole thing.
Nice. Nice. And do you still break out the fiddle every now and then, or is it?
Every now and then, you can actually, I
Yep.
think it's on the screen here.
Now
Yeah,
that
it's
you kind of
out.
moved out of the. Yep. I I didn't pick up on that at first as I was asking the question. Then once you turned, I was like, oh no, she's pointing to a fiddle. It's sitting
Me
right
either.
there.
I kind of looked at my screen and I'm like, huh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's right there.
Nice. 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 But so you still break it out every once in a while? Is
Yeah, I try to. I try to practice. It's like a language. You got to kind of keep it going, at least for
Mhm.
me. So yeah, I try my best.
Nice, nice, nice. And so then what was kind of the light switch moment to start doing your music, like writing, recording, all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, writing started pretty young as well. I kind of found the instruments were a great tool, always have been for helping me to understand myself and the world and all these big feelings. So I started writing pretty much as soon as I got into different instruments. And then I started playing out and recording a bit when I was in high school in Oakland, just playing at local open mics and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And then when I moved down to Santa Barbara in Southern California, I started doing it for work,
Mm,
gigging and busking and the whole thing. So that's
nice,
really, yeah, kicked off.
nice. What's the like? And I don't know how long ago it's been since you've been to or lived in Oakland, but what was the independent scene like growing up in Oakland, like really cutting your teeth doing the open mics and stuff like that?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was pretty welcoming, and people are always just excited there that other people love doing art. I really like the art and
Yeah.
music community in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Very open arms kind of vibe. And I was just a kid, and people were pushing me to get up on stage. They're like, "You got this!" It's strangers supporting me, and yeah,
Nice.
it's great.
That's awesome. That's really cool to kind of have that early support system, especially in a, honestly, Oakland, the Bay Area is actually like a really big metropolitan. And so just to kind of have that really welcoming community in that big of an area is like, I don't want to say it's rare, but it's really cool.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was very special. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. 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 And so then you said you went to school down in Southern California, and then you moved. That's when you moved to Oregon after that, or nice.
Yeah.
Was that to start following your music, or were you following a career, different career path? And then,
Yeah, for my move to Oregon.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I was living in a van, and I was gonna go link up with some friends in Canada. And then I ran out of gas and money in Oregon.
So it's like an accident almost.
Yeah, it was totally an accident. And I ended up loving it. I got a job teaching music in Central Oregon, and just fell in love with the place. And now I've never left.
Nice. That's really cool. And so now you've been in Portland now a year. Are
Mhm.
you still teaching music, or what do you kind of do now, or is music full time?
Yeah, I teach kids part-time, remote lessons, very part-time right
Yeah.
now. And then yeah, devoting a lot of time to this record and promo and all that comes with it. And then I have a lot of health things that I deal with as well. So I try to leave open some time for that. Yeah,
Fair.
that's my
Fair.
life right there in a nutshell.
I completely understand. I completely understand. So, where are you kind of at show wise right now? Are you playing pretty consistently, or?
Well, I just did a little mini run kind of in these cities around Portland, and then playing in Seattle next week and taking a bit of a break. I'm moving apartments, so I'm taking
Yeah.
a bit off for that. And then, yeah, it'll be some consistent gigs going into the new year, especially with this new batch of songs. And yeah, we're having fun playing them.
Nice, nice. And so, when you say we, I'm guessing you play out with the band, or is it what's kind of your current playing? Like when you play shows, what's that kind of look like?
Yeah, I've got a band. There's five of us. Just kind of that classic indie rock band. We
Yeah.
got keys, bass, drums. Yeah, they're a killer group of musicians local to Portland.
Nice.
Mhm.
Nice. And how long have y'all been playing together? Like, obviously, I'm assuming it's been less than a year, right?
Yeah, not long at all. We started practicing a couple months before the record was out. So
Nice.
yeah, not long at all.
Nice. And do they? I'm guessing they didn't help write any of the songs on this one, but looking kind of forward, are you already like working on more music, or where you kind of at creatively right now?
Yeah, I'm writing every day these days. I'm feeling inspired for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, I've definitely got a list going for future project, and I hope to pull these musicians into that orbit as well because I really value them. Yeah.
Nice. It's like you knew exactly where I was going, but I didn't. I left the lead open pretty good, so it's like, yeah. Uh, so outside of music, what do you like to do? What do you like to get into to kind of decompress from everything?
Yeah, a lot of walking. I love long walks, especially in the city. Birding, kind of light birding. I wouldn't call myself a birder by any means, but I love looking at them. Yeah, those
Nice.
are some big ones. Yeah, hiking, getting out in the trees.
Nice. That's really cool. Um, I see you got a record player sitting right behind you.
I do.
what's the most interesting thing you've listened to, or what do you actually? I see you do have a record on there. What are you
Yeah, I know.
listening to
I'm
right
looking
now?
at what it is. Oh, we've got Kate Bollinger on the record player.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yes.
How how big is your record collection? Is it pretty big or is it?
Oh, it used to be.
Yeah,
It used to be quite large, and then I had to downsize for my van life experience, and now I'm
fair,
starting with just a couple.
fair, fair, fair.
Mhm.
I need to get back into like actively doing it, but the downside is where I live. There's
Mm,
not like I mean, there's supposedly a record store here in town, but I've never been to it, so I don't quite know.
yeah, you might have
Um,
to outsource.
yeah. Well, and it's one of those things where it's like I've been here 5 years. Maybe I just need to go. Oh, it's this address. Okay, let's go see if there's actually a record store there. You know.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
um, but you know, it's on the other side of town. I don't go to the other side of town. I kind of stay where I'm at. You know, that whole thing.
Totally. Little roadblocks.
Right. It's like I just made it seem like the other side of town is so far away. It's like 5 minutes, and I just can't be bothered to go over there. It's like, dang it, I just outed myself. Oh well.
Uh,
But
maybe it's super cool and you're missing out. Maybe it
may,
doesn't exist.
maybe that's actually probably more accurate. I'm
Okay.
probably actually missing out. But yeah. Um, so kind of moving forward, you said you're getting ready to move, so that's kind of putting a pause on some of your shows. When
Mhm.
you do you get down into California a lot to play, or do you kind of stay in Oregon right now?
Yeah, solo, I've done a lot of playing in California and Washington. With this record, I'm pacing myself and my energy, and I'm foreseeably going to plan a little tour down to California,
Yes.
especially as the record's out a little longer and people get more time to listen to it. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. How's the scene in Portland right now? Is the scene pretty vibrant?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's great. There's some awesome venues, similar to my experience in the Bay Area,
Hmm.
actually. Very supportive, the artist community. People are lifting each other up, which is really nice.
Nice. That's really cool.
Mhm.
I was actually when we first started doing live and amplified, this was like pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
We used to do a lot of traveling, and actually about 6 months before the pandemic, we went out to we were going to do I was living in Florida and my team was based out of New Mexico.
Mhm.
And so I was like, okay, well, we're going to just make a big old 10-day road trip and we're going to go. I'm going to drive from Tallahassee to New Mexico, pick up my guys. We're going to go up north and then we're going to come down the West Coast.
Yeah,
Then I realized how expensive gas was the further north you got. And I'm like,
really.
the situation you described about running out of gas in Oregon, that almost happened to us. And it would just been
Yeah.
like, oh, guess what, guys? Well, we're stuck in Montana right now. So congratulations. We're,
Totally.
we're Montanans now.
Yeah.
So
Never even.
that would have went over like a wet fart. You know, it would have just went over so great. I'm sure it would have. So, um, but kind of looking forward, is there any you said you're in a real creative patch right now. Is there any songs that are just like really like speaking to you right now that is just kind of like, okay, I think this is something?
Songs that I've been writing.
Yeah, that you're like currently working on.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think I'm kind of also in a state where sometimes I write a ton, and then when that creative fire mellows out a little bit, then I go and look at them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even so, I still have a couple that I'm really enjoying. Yeah.
Yes. So right now you're just kind of in a more brain dump mode where it's like, okay, I've got this idea, let's get it down. And then
Mm,
if it keeps going, we'll go. But for the most part, we're just going to try and get as many ideas down.
exactly. Yeah,
Nice.
trying to create an environment where I can just get those ideas out without having to ruminate on them too much.
Fair. That's really cool. And like right now, would you say your writing style kind of changes as like depending on who you're listening to in
Mm.
like on the radio, Spotify, like however you consume music? Do you feel like your writing style or your subject matter changes based on who you're personally listening to or into?
Yeah, I do. I think it's hard not to. I feel like we output a lot of what we're intaking
Mm.
in some form. Um, yeah, but I'd say that's true for me as well. Mhm.
Nice. Fair, fair, fair. Who are you intaking right now? Who are you like really into?
Ooh, yeah. I've been listening to a lot of Molly Velasquez's new record. It's
Hmm.
called I'm Green. Um, I'm liking that a
Yeah.
lot. Going back into some old Wilco records.
Nice.
Yeah, that's kind of a place home. It's called like
Yeah.
home for me
Yeah.
musically, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I dig it. I dig it. But I don't want to keep you here too much longer because I know you gotta get somewhere.
Okay.
I appreciate you taking the time to sit down and chat with me.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to check out your music, any of that fun stuff, where's the best place to find you?
Yeah. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp. I'm trying to push people in that direction more these days. So yeah, it's under my name's Mary Eliza. Album is called Spider. Instagram is Mary Eliza Band.
Awesome, awesome. Actually, that tripped me up this morning because I was trying to go back into our conversation or trying to find our conversation so I could just make sure we were still good for today.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, the band, I didn't pay attention when we first started talking that it was Mary Eliza Band on Instagram, and I saw that and I was like, wait a minute, that's not right. That's not right. And then I opened it and I was like, oh, okay, no, it is right. I'm just an idiot. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, Mary Eliza Band, exactly.
Nice. That's really cool. And then one last thing here before we wrap this up. What's one piece of advice you have for the young musicians out there?
Ooh. No matter what's happening in the world or the music industry, just keep creating genuinely, unapologetically. Just keep writing and creating for yourself.
Awesome. I love it. I love it so much. Well, Mary Eliza, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate your time.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we will catch you all later. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Live and Amplified's Indie Fusion podcast. If you'd like to support anything Live and Amplified does, please follow us on all of our social media platforms at Live, the letter N, Amplified. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Threads, any of them, all of them, at Live, the letter N, Amplified. And if you would like to buy any official Live and Amplified merch, you can do so at our merch shop, link in the description below. Once again, thank you all. Have a great day.